when they were trying to castrate pedophiles earlier on, they used to give them a certain drug that now they're giving to kids as a form of puberty blockers. Can you speak on that, please?
So one of the greatest scams, medical scandals playing out in our lifetime right now, to me, is this whole pediatric gender business. It's an industry that's formed. And pharma's part of it. There are the multi-billionaires who are funding it, like the Pritzker family. One of the Pritzker family members, heir to the $37 billion Hyatt Foundation, changed from a man to a woman, from James to Jennifer. There's a person who runs the Tides Foundation. There are people, Martine Rothblatt, also man to woman, billionaire. They're funding this. It's an ideology.
Wait, who is this? Is that a Pritzker?
Yeah, that is a Pritzker.
Did you know
now
this,
James.
Rob?
Now James. And a
Wait, this is not a joke.
No, that's not a joke.
How is this guy related to
cousin? The
first cousin?
Yeah.
So hang on a second. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, no.
Jennifer Natalia Pritzker, who was born James Nicholas Pritzker, is an American investor. Pritzker retired as a lieutenant colonel from the Illinois Army National Guard and was later made an honorary Illinois colonel, founder of the Taiwanese Foundation 1995 Enterprises. So because in August 2013, released a statement to employees of Taiwan Enterprise and Pritzker Family Museum and Library and social media status as a transgender woman, making her the first and openly transgender billionaire. Stop it.
Yeah, and you should look up there Martine Rothblatt, Rothblatt. Now, why do I mention this? You can't get something going. Okay, Martine Rothblatt, American lawyer, author, entrepreneur.
Was this guy
originally a man? And
you can
became a woman.
Punch him in the face.
They have billions of dollars, and what they do is they're very, very smart about spending it. So they will give a grant, and I go through this. I have a thing called the Transgender Money Pipeline. I did an article about it. They will give a grant, let's say to the University of Illinois or University of San Francisco, and they say $20 million, $22 million grant, whatever else. But we want you to open up a gender studies program. We want you to have a study to look at bringing children possibly who might be born in the wrong body. Let me tell you, sidelight, hate to say this, no question, nobody's born in the wrong body. It's just not true. There are people born intersex, right? They have to make a decision. But children today are taught, hey, maybe you're in the wrong body. You're not happy, you're autistic. The autistic kids who are converting over to think that they are another gender are 60 to 70%. And guess what studies show in Europe? The bulk of the children who think they're another gender, if they're left alone and they're not given drugs and medication, turn out actually to be gay. If they're boys, they turn out to be gay. If they're girls, they turn out to be gay. They aren't actually another sex. Yeah, but what happens is now all of a sudden you have doctors stepping in to say, guess what? If we take that child, think of this, your own son or something, this is unbelievable, before they get to puberty, and we block their puberty. So if it's a boy, we don't let testosterone get in, because once they get testosterone, they get the deep voice, they start to develop some of the manly things, they get a little bit more aggressive. So we don't let testosterone stop. We give them a year or two to think about whether they want to be another sex. And then if they do, we start them on cross-sex hormones, which is estrogen for the boy. The girl, we stop it so they don't get any estrogen, and we put it, that drug that's being given out, that's the drug that is used to castrate sex offenders. And guess what? The trans activists say the following: no side effects. So if we stop puberty and you decide you change your mind in a year or two, you can restart it. Guess what? Bones, I have 10,000 adverse impact reports filed with the FDA about fragile bones, bones chipping, teeth chipping, long-term cognitive there's all types of problems. And once they get in the pipeline, once they move to cross-sex hormones, and then if they move to surgery, I'll just tell you this, it's mutilation. You're cutting off body parts. You go in, if you go into a doctor today and say, by the way, I think that I have ADHD, so give me Ritalin or give me some drug to treat it. Doctor's not going to just take your word for it. But we are supposed to, if you're an 8, 9, 10, or 11-year-old child who says, by the way, I think that I'm really a girl, not a boy. Guess how the business is built? It's called gender affirming for a reason. You can't tell that child no, because you might make them so depressed they'll kill themselves. That's the canard that's been used. If you say no to them, they're going to kill themselves. Absolutely false. The studies show that's not true. The people killing themselves are the ones who transition over and are left sterile with all types of butchery on their bodies, and they can't come back. So my view of this is, I am no longer with my longtime agent in New York. I submitted a...
He transitioned?
No, this is interesting. I submitted a book proposal about following the money in the gender industry.
Oh, I tell you, like...
And he came back and said, inside, this is a problem in publishing. A lot of people said, oh my God, that's a terrible book. It's, it's transphobic. I said, no, it's just following the money. I'm just following where the money goes. I'm now represented, by the way, my new agent is J.K. Rowling's agent in London.
You have the right person.
Yeah, because I figured she has been mercilessly attacked nonstop for saying, by the way, her original thing she said was, they wrote an article that said, people with uteruses. And she said, you mean women with uteruses? My wife, by the way, had breast cancer 4 years ago. She's fine. She's okay. She wrote a piece in the Wall Street Journal because when she was having the breast cancer at the University of Miami, a nurse said to her, your prognosis for chest cancer is good. So she said, chest cancer, swear to God. I have breast cancer. She said, the University of Miami nurse said, we like to be inclusive. There are some men, 1%, that get breast cancer. Then we looked into it. Pregnant people, you don't have a vaginal birth anymore. You have a frontal birth. You don't have breast milk. You have chest milk. There's a small minority, funded sometimes by progressive billionaires, like this time. Yeah, when did a woman become a dirty word? The nurse said to her, we don't like to offend anyone. And what my wife said to her was, you know what? You're offending me. You're making me feel uncomfortable, which is really interesting. And I just think that in the end, we are in a situation today where what's going to stop it? Trump's stopping it in part because he's stripping it out of federal government. You can't stop it in the states. In California with Newsom's going to run for president in 28, and this should hang around his head. He signed into laws in that state that make sure that parents cannot be notified if their children want to be called a different name, a different gender, or they're transitioning at school. The school officials cannot tell them. And if you're a parent in a custody battle and one parent wants to transition the child and the other one's against it, that can become a factor in the custody fight. That's absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah. No, so I mean, we saw that story, right? There's multiple stories of that where, kids are like, let them at least age, let them become 18 and then let them go through it. I even think Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, who's their child transitioned, I think the ex-wife wanted it to take his time, but Dwayne's like, no, we have to let them go through it. I may be wrong. Has objected. There you go. Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, Siobhan, has objected his petition to legally change her daughter's name and gender, claiming he violated their custody limit, not consulting her such a significant decision. Wade has supported Zai's identity and is seeking legal name and gender change, while she alleges the petition was made without her input and concerns about media commercialization and potential profit. This is such a common sense thing that's just, taking advantage of these kids that don't know what they're going through right now.
No. So, I wrote a piece called Who Put the Kids in Charge? And that's really it, because the system is rigged now. So the kids, think about this. In medicine, we're talking about medicine and pharma. What do doctors and pharmaceutical companies say you have to have before you can have an operation, a surgery, whatever? You need informed consent. Kids can't give informed consent. They can't understand at 12, 13, 14 what long-term consequences are. They don't appreciate any of that. And when you said, you had that example a moment ago, PBD, I can't tell you how many people, if I wish I had a printout of it, in Hollywood, how many celebrities have like a trans child. Because it's this very progressive sort of, you can do whatever you want. Don't worry about it. We want you to be whoever you think you are. And parents who think that they're doing a favor to their children going through that, all I can tell you is if you read the accounts of what they call detransitioners, kids who went through and are now trying to come back, but it's too late because they've already had a double mastectomy or whatever else as a girl, and it's with you for life. So we're not talking about doing something where would those same parents, by the way, I have a question for you. At what age would you allow like your son Dylan to get a tattoo? Not till
About
he's
95.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. I mean, think of it. The things that we wouldn't let kids do because we know that they're not making a permanent decision, but on this, we're letting them do things that are going to change the rest of their life. 95. I love that. I'm sure he's going to appreciate that.
He's going to be like, Dad, you're no longer, what if you're no longer here? I'll be watching you, buddy.
It'll be in the trust. It'll be in the trust agreement.
In the trust agreement. One of them likes tattoos, so we're going to see what's going to happen. But
Hi, I'm Gerald Posner. I'm an investigative reporter. I've written 13 books about everything from chasing Nazi war criminals to the heroin trade to 9/11 to Saudis to fundamentalists and to the drug industry and to money inside the Vatican. You can ask me just about everything on my next. Reach out to me and talk to me about 9/11. Find out what's happening in terms of the Epstein files. If you want to find out what's happened in the recent Trump assassination attempt by crooks, I'm looking into that as well. I've got a whole series of things, including the transgender industry on children, that are on my hot list. So send me some questions.
if you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.